There we go. Ready to go. So I'm here with my comrade in arms, who 6 years ago, he and I were on a beach in Sardinia around this time. It's Alex the Breezy.
Hello.
Good to see you, mate.
Good to see you, man.
Feels like it's been too long since we've actually seen each other in person.
Yeah, one of your barbecues or movie quizzes, but I can't place where the last one was.
Yeah, because you weren't at the one that Matthew Holmes was at, were you?
Not the latest.
So good old David Macy is here. I'm waiting for Desert Phoenix to come in, who's an avid Lone Wolf fan who always turns up. Now, I've been since I saw you last, I blitzed through the end of book 2. I did book 3 in a single session, and I'm now on the Chasm of Doom. So it's interesting because this book would have probably come out originally. I don't know what year did Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom come out? Do you remember? Is that
87? I don't know.
No, I think it was before that. I want to say Raiders of the Lost Ark was 83, and I think Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom I think was 85. But David Macy has said, "Gingers of the world, unite!" Alex, there you are, in good company. I'm also pleased to see you've grown your appropriate wizard moustache for the stream. So this is the new version of the book, Chasm of Doom. There you are. And if you peel off the cover, I always do this at the beginning of every stream. You can see there's a map here.
That's
of
cool.
the area that we're going to be going to, and I think we're going to be heading towards this chasm here. I'm going to read the backstory out. It's quite a specific mission that we've got this time. Mm-hmm. Now, big shoes to fill, Alex, because Gary led me through the last mission in record speed with minimum damage. But when I completed the second half of the one we were doing, you remember we finished and we were in that port?
Yeah, we were still in the port, weren't we?
Yeah, and then I was actually stuck in a cycle in the book. The only option to get a coach ticket to get out of that port was to go and gamble what money you had and try and win money in this gambling house, and it was all just purely down to chance. And I had to play that cycle 3 times in a row until I got money to get on the coach, because if you didn't have money to get on the coach, you weren't let into the inn, so you had to go and sleep in the hayloft. And if you slept in the hayloft, you died and were killed by an assassin. There were no other options.
Right.
So it was a bit of that was a bit crap. I thought that was a bit. There should have been other routes you could have taken. That for me let that book down a little bit. But other than that, it was good. There was a great big battle on the sea with this kind of army of undead ships that rose out of the water, all very cinematic, very Pirates of the Caribbean. Mm-hmm. And then I retrieved the summer sword and I struck down the enemy fleet, destroyed all of them. Then the wizard, who was this guy called Lord Vonatar, who had betrayed us. I think it was the guy who had betrayed the Kai, or Jedi, as we can call them. I tracked him down to the caverns of Colty, and I had him arrested and brought back with me. So, just so we can see the original book, this is the original Chasm of Doom. Features an illustration of Alex's first experience of horse riding. And then again, you've got this kind of cute little map in the book as well. But we have access to the master map while we're playing this game. So By the way, mate, I saw quite a good film today.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, are you a fan of Jackie Chan at all?
I am. Yeah.
It was Jackie Chan and John Cena. Yeah, what a combination. And it's sort of set in the Middle East, fictional country in the Middle East, involves kind of people being kidnapped, and this sort of there's a really good convoy sequence with coaches and the way that they managed to capture some people. I mean, it was a nonsense film, but it was fun nonsense, if you know what I mean. So we've got two people watching. I wonder if one of them's Phoenix, if he's arrived. Yeah. Anyway, we are here. So obviously smash that like button, Alex. So this is quite a niche stream. I'm aware that it's not going to be the most popular of my things on my channel. People are like, probably, why don't you get on and play a 3D game that we can watch you play? Nah, everybody's doing those. So Desert Phoenix is here. I knew he would be here. There we go. So it increases our viewers to 3. So this is where we are in the world at the moment, is in Holmgard, which is the capital of Summerland, which is where my guy is from. So shall I read out in cinematic style, Alex, the story so far?
I think you should.
In the northern land of Summerland, for centuries, it has been the customary for its people to send gifted children to the monastery of the Kai. You weren't that gifted, but you were sent there anyway. They developed special talents under the tutelage of the Kai and were taught the disciplines of their noble ancestors. You are Lone Wolf, now the last of the Kai of Summerland, because they were all massacred in the first book. Okay. Yeah. So if you want a summary of what's happened so far, I've actually written one at the bottom of this stream. So anyway, we've just fought back an invasion of the Dark Lord Zagana, and apparently I destroyed him. That's right, I did destroy him with the sword, or at least he disappeared into a puff of smoke. Much as Summerland was ruined during the invasion, the rich farmlands were laid to waste. Many towns and villages were razed to the ground. Even the quaint little square where Alex performed his clownly tricks no longer stood. But the Summerlanding are tough and resilient people. They were undaunted by the enormity of the task that lay before them. They set about rebuilding Summerland with such vigor and determination that now the scars inflicted by Dark Lord Zagana and his mighty army are few and barely noticeable. When I say Dark Lord Zagana, for some reason I see Richard Roberts in some sort of evil costume.
Right.
Yeah. I think that could suit him. For the crucial part that you played in the great victory, the king bestowed upon you the rank and title of Frey Earl of Summerland. It is a rare honor for one so young. Obviously, I'm very young, obviously. It is the ruins of the Kai Monastery and much of the surrounding lands are now Freyland under your protection. Very good. Ruanan is a remote mining province to the south of Summerland. Okay, let's check out to see where that is. Oh, yeah, here it is. So if I bring that sort of to the top, you can see it's here, just above the Chasm of Doom. So
just be aware. Hold on, I'm going to flip my screen because I can barely see.
Can you barely see the map, Alex? Oh, hang on. We suddenly lost our map. There we go. There's the map.
That's a bit better. It's a bit better.
Is that better? All right. I can, of course, occasionally just do this, and I can hold up the map that's in the book. So the town that's being mentioned is the one just where my finger is. There. Mm-hmm. And we're currently in the capital of the city, which is in the top sort of left-hand corner. So
right.
All right. Desert Phoenix has pronounced it for us. Let's see, he knows the minutia. Ruanon. Okay, Ruanon. That sounds more cinematic. Ruanon. Okay, so Ruanon falls under our protection. It's a remote mining province. Yeah, blah, blah. We got that. Nothing between the sullen peaks of the Dun Crag and the Macon Mountains. In fact, I'll keep this map handy. in case I want to. And make a man. The people of this region have long prospered from their toil in the ore-rich mines, living and enjoying the wealth under the protection of their liege lord, Baron Vanneland. The gold and gems that are mined by the Rhiannon people provide an important source of revenue for Summerland. The heavily guarded convoy of wagons that leaves the province that makes the difficult journey north to the capital are a regular monthly occurrence. This routine has rarely been broken in living memory. However, it has now been over a month since all contact with Rhiannon ceased. Okay, that's my cinematic. That's my cinematic voice. King Olnar has dispatched a troop of 100 of his elite guard cavalry to investigate the unusual silence to locate the whereabouts of the missing convoy. Their commanding officer, Captain DeVow, I sort of picture a kind of Duncan Powell type playing him, was ordered personally to report to the king as soon as contact was made. But he and his soldiers have not returned either. So they sent off 100 cavalry and they've all disappeared. They too have disappeared without trace. Fearful of the fate which may have befallen the convoy, the province and the captain's troopers, King Olnar has summoned you, Lone Wolf, to his citadel in Holmgard. Your quest is to find Captain DeVow and his guards, discover what happened to the missing convoy, and lift the veil of mystery that now hangs over the remote province of Rhiannon. The king has summoned a company of 50 border rangers. I wonder if they're wearing red Star Trek shirts. What do you think? All of whom are skilled in horsemanship, outdoor survival, and the wearing of red shirts. He has ordered these soldiers to accompany you in the hope that with your leadership, they may succeed where DeVow's larger, more visible force has failed. As you and your rangers enter the Royal Armoury to equip yourselves for the long ride south, you glimpse a black crow perched on a window ledge high above. It flies away, but not before a shiver has run down your spine. In Holmgard, the crow is a bird of ill omen. Okay. Well, I have already equipped myself with anything I needed to get back. I've already given myself an additional skill because you get another skill each time you do a new book. So I've added the skill of camouflage. Nice. So I think I now have 8 skills. To refresh the Tabrizi memory, I have the skill of healing, hunting, mind over matter, mind shield, tracking, sixth sense. I'm proficient with broadsword as a combat skill, and I also have the skill of camouflage. Now, I had 34 crowns left over from my last adventure. We did have to fudge that a bit when I ran out of money. So I technically, by the way, I technically died in the 3rd book, although I felt that was very unfair.
You technically died?
I technically died.
Your character was killed off? Or you just
it was. I met one of those bits where your journey ends here, and basically I took umbrage with it because the options were go into the inn if you have enough money. I didn't have enough money. Go and sleep in the hayloft. You sleep in the hayloft, you die. There wasn't even like a chance to detect your assassin or whatever. And I just thought that was just way too linear for my tastes. So I kind of did a restart, went back to where I had to then gamble to get money to then eventually get in the inn. And we had to do a couple of restarts on that because I kept losing all my money. Okay, so I've re-equipped myself with the necessary things, but the one thing I do need to roll for before we start is a D10's worth of extra gold crowns that I get given for my heavy purse. So, you know, because Gandalf the Ginger requires monies for his sagely services.
Yes.
I'm assuming you're one of the 50 guys accompanying me. Okay, so let's see how much I get, Alex. So D10, here we go. I get 4. So my total gold crowns at this time, just going to close this down because it's just taking up space. My total gold crowns is now, I've currently got, said I had 34, didn't I? 38. That's quite a princely sum.
Nice.
Yeah. All right. Good. All right. Let's we'll put the map back up for the moment and begin our quest. And already I can see in the first section there is a choice that lays before me. Actually, if I do that, then we can just switch easily from the dice to the map, can't we? That's a good idea, Lance. Why didn't you think of that last time? Okay, so for 3 days, you lead your brave company of border rangers and a gingered wizard across the lush plains of the Southland marches. Okay. Marches. I guess that means kind of like solid ground. So basically, we're going south along this road down to what's called the Pass of Matura. Let's see if we get there. The flat, treeless fields surround you with a seemingly endless expanse of wheat, so high that even you are in the saddle, it reaches well above your knees. Your horses seem to be swimming through a vast yellow sea that is only interrupted by an occasional track or group of isolated farmhouses. This is one of the things I really like about this series, is all the different parts of the world are very visually defined, and they're very different from one another.
Yeah.
It does have that, filmic feel.
What with the yellow water, yellow sea?
Yellow sea. Well, it's a field of yellow, basically.
Field of yellow water.
The Southerners welcome your sudden appearance, but you only make the briefest stops for food and rest. We neither wishing to impose a burden on these good people nor to alarm them with the purpose of your mission, which obviously I'm not discussing with them. At noon on the 4th day, there you go, you reach the Pass of Matura. You look towards the ginger one, and he nods his approval for you to approach. Here, the plains give way to the broken foothills of Duncrag, or the Durncrag Mountains. Okay, so I guess those are the mountains I'm kind of coming into, because they're either side of me. You soon reach a highway leading off towards the south. Its surface cracked and full of potholes. This is the notorious Ruanan Pike. South of the pass, the pike crosses hundreds of miles of open territory known as Raiders Road. Okay, that's not very encouraging. Raiders Road. Bandit tribes from the wildlands and Gaiac war bands from the mountains to the west frequently ambush those who travel along the pike. Regular shipments of gold and gems from the mines have sometimes yielded rich pickings. So, I mean, that could obviously be who.
Okay.
Yeah. And David Macy chipping in. Marches means lands in between. Yeah, I guess it does. Point and flankers, you shout, and immediately 3 groups of rangers peel away from the column and spurn their horses to a gallop. I guess I'm getting them to patrol. You watch with pride as the expert riders take up their scouting positions to the front and side of the company. It is afternoon when a ranger approaches the company from the west. He points to a distant craggy outcrop where a thin spiral of wood smoke betrays a hut hidden beneath the overhanging rock. So the picture looks like this, Alex. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Do you want me to go bigger, or can you see?
It'll appear. I've actually got the YouTube video open on my computer.
Oh, okay, screen. Cool. So you can watch that running slightly behind. The Tower of Aberdeen is lit. Breezy calls for aid. Okay, so if we wish to leave the highway and investigate the hut, turn to 160. But if we decide to ignore it and continue along the pike, so basically our option is: do we investigate the hut or no?
Well, there's no more detail. It's not unique. It's not there's not any mysteriousness about it. Or
smoke coming from. Remember, our mission is to find out what happened to the missing gold.
Right.
So,
I reckon let's go take a look.
Yeah, I reckon, because there might be somebody there who has some information. Okay, Alex. So we're going to 160 now. Occasionally, I lose my place. So when I tell you these numbers, it's your job to remember them. I am also using the bookmark, but an escort of 5 rangers accompanies you. By the way, I've got on my character sheet here, I've got my little list of the rangers in case I start losing them, so I can deduct them from the 50. But we'll see what happens.
Right.
So an escort of 5 rangers accompanies you along the track. You get to the hut with a curious oval door. There's no windows. Sounds like a hobbit hole.
Yeah, it does. It does a bit.
You're dismounted and approaching the door when suddenly a man's voice calls from inside the hut. Come in, lone wolf. I've been expecting you.
Oh, how did he know?
Mate, doing the comedy voices is part of the stream. I might get you to chip in. So, here are the options, mate. Open the door and enter. Draw your weapon and kick open the door. Send the rangers into the hut ahead of you. How brave. So I've got 3 options. Just casually enter, kick open the door and enter with weapon drawn, or send rangers ahead. What do you reckon?
Oh, I think just casually walk in. I mean, he's acknowledged us. What's the worst that could happen?
Bit impolite to draw
I mean, he could have booby trapped the door, but
yeah. Okay, right. This is a big passage. Here we go. In the dim light of the interior, you see an old man. See, I did the appropriate voice. I could tell it was going to be an old man. Seated at a table, the flickering glow of a log fire is all that illuminates this foul-smelling hovel. Yet it sheds enough light for you to see the clutter of charts and strange instruments that crowd the hut. The man slowly raises his gaze from a large crystal sphere and bids you to sit opposite him. You know my name. How? You ask warily. Can you say that line for me again as Lone Wolf?
You know my name. How?
Oh, nice. I like that. The stars foretold our meeting long ago, Lone Wolf, he replies, slowly passing his withered old hands around the sphere. I feel like I'm on an episode of Jack and Ori here.
Yeah,
be not alarmed by my knowledge, for I wish to only aid you. See, so we could have gone past this thing. He produces a small scroll of parchment from within his robe, and he hands it to you. Upon the scroll is written the following verse. Okay, this is a bit. I'll tell you what, mate. I'm going to photograph this and I'm going to send it to you on WhatsApp. Will you be able to see it?
Yeah, I will be. Yeah.
I'm gonna photograph it, just because we might need to refer back to it as well.
Take it. It's a spell or some instructions or something.
It's a poem. You can read it out in your Lone Wolf voice. So he hands this scroll. Oh my God, there's actually a picture of him. And funnily enough, Alex, he looks a little bit like you, but possibly an older version of you.
Does he look like my dad? Yeah, great.
You didn't have that. You had that much hair when I first met you. I think the nose is quite similar. Look, if you angle your nose downward, yeah, see, and he's got the big breezy eyebrows.
Who wouldn't you?
You ask. So, have you got the poem there?
Yeah.
Do you want to read that out in your Lone Wolf voice, obviously?
When the moon shines, when the full moon shines, o'er the temple deep, a sacrifice will stir from sleep. The legions of a long-forgotten lord, when a fair royal maid on the altar dies, the dead of Mancan Gorge shall rise to claim their long-awaited reward.
Sounds like there's an army of the undead waiting for us in Mancan Gorge, which could also be the Chasm of Doom of the title of our adventure.
Yeah.
I interrogate the old man about this.
Doom.
Yes, I interrogate the old man about this theory, but he does not answer. He seems to have fallen into a deep trance. Possibly he's just fallen asleep.
Oh.
You lean across the cluttered table to awaken him, but you are shocked when your hand passes straight through his body, and then he disappears.
That
but the scroll, you can place the scroll in your pocket. Mark this on your action chat. Yeah, right. So I can carry 12 special items, and I've got some I can definitely get rid of here, but I've now got 10. So just so you know what they are, I've got a diamond of Colte, a bluestone triangle, fire spears. I have padded leather waistcoat, which gives me +2 to my endurance, which means my endurance is 24 instead of 22. I've got a red pass, which is for a harbour, which I could definitely get rid of. Ganem sap, which is poison. Coach ticket, which technically has expired, so I could also get rid of it. Silver token and the crystal star pendant. I'm also carrying 4 meals, some rope, 2 healing lamp spur potions, and an axe in addition to my summer sword. Okay, so there you go. Right, so we now go to 273. Well, that was all a bit creepy, wasn't it, Alex?
It was. I'm just still trying to get over the amount of clutter you've got in your pockets.
Yeah.
Stone triangles and old coach tickets. What do you need
well, indeed. Hang on a minute. Whoa. Oh, okay, hang on a minute. 273. Okay, right. Well, I guess we can. Oh, hang on. Unnerved by this strange encounter, quickly you leave the hut, pausing briefly to wipe away the cold sweat. You may now wish to make a note that you've visited a hut on Raiders Road for future reference. Okay. Well, I think we can remember that. So we're now continuing on our way. And thank you to the 4 people who are watching. Do leave a comment in the chat, like and subscribe. And if you want to be really lovely, you could do your own post about this on your social media. See if we can get a few more people in. We are currently playing Book 4, Chasm of Doom of the Lone Wolf Adventure Series. Here's the cover of it here. And here's the map inside the cover. The treasure map where X marks the spot. See, that enticed people so much. We're down to 2 viewers again. Okay. So, next number says, and we got another choice, Alex. We've ridden less than 5 miles when we see a group of wagons on the highway ahead. They're painted in the gaudy mixed colours and drawn by harnesses of oxen. A huge tasseled banner flies above the leading wagon, which bears the following proclamation. I guess I've got some binoculars or something that I can see all this, or that Kevin Costner piece of glass from,
Spyglass.
The spyglass thing from Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. The famous Aegea players, troubadours of the imperial courts of Magnamund. Oh my God, Alex, it's travelling actors. If you choose to stop and question these travelling minstrels, turn to 37. But if you decide to ignore them and let them pass, do we want to stop and question them? Could have some information.
Well, yeah, I reckon so. I mean, actors, they could be anyone.
They could be anyone. They could be baddies in disguise.
Spies, could be raiders.
Travelling minstrels. Okay, I take my advisor's advice. So we're on number 37. You signal the driver to stop. The wagons halt, and a small, moon-faced man dressed in a bright pink tunic throws open the rear door of the leading carriage. It's Raymond Kim Suttle. He shouts and curses at the driver as he awkwardly descends the ladder, pausing only to adjust his cummerbund that barely covers his huge stomach.
Right.
Upon seeing your rangers, he lets out a strangled shriek, fumbles for a short sword hanging from his side. Bandits, robbers, he cries. Unfortunately, he kind of falls over because he's not a particularly skilled combatant. That's him falling over.
Right. Yeah.
And,
rotund man.
Definitely could be Raymond. A row of anxious faces appears at the wagon's windows, but the look of anxiety gives way to delight when they recognise your uniforms. Calm yourself, Yesu, shouts an elderly woman. They're Summerland Rangers. They're not there to steal your gold. Okay, not sure where I was going with that accent, but laughter ripples from along the carriages. Laughter, Alex. Excellent. Is that a ripple of laughter? Sounded like an evil chuckle. Oh, hang on. We got a comment from, I played this adventure over and over as a kid. Still have the book. It's the 1985 Swedish translation titled Doomsday Dekretation. Excellent. Tegan, you're very welcome here, mate. I'm half Danish, so we could even be related because my surname is Nielsen. And I have the original the original book is here. Actually, I'll keep that handy so I can show it if any. So see, Lone Wolf players they pop in because there's a couple of forums on Facebook and I always advertise when I'm playing this. That's quite cool, isn't it? That it got the emblem on the on the book there on the new editions.
That's cool.
So okay, all right, let's have a look. So you question the old woman, ask where their group has come from, and see if that they can do a performance of the journey using interpretive dance as the medium. You enjoy this interpretation of Lance Nilsson's lesser well-known works, and then you continue to interrogate them. They are a group of players who have journeyed many miles from their native land of Cilicia. Cilicia, I wonder where that is. Is that nearby? Let's have a quick look on the big map. It is. I can show you where it is. Let's have a look. It is not that far away. I mean, if we've gone hundreds of miles. So it is here, just south of the Wildlands to the east. So when you click on that box, you see this thing comes up, tells you about Cilicia. So those flashing white circles, when you click on one of those, hang on. Cilicia is a small but wealthy nation of the last lands bordering the Kuri Sea with the long tradition of free trade coveted by the Empire of Vasagonia. Vasagonia is just to the south. A state formed long ago by Vasa exiles that rejected the rule of the Majan. Cilicia lost much of its former territory to the Wildlands. Blah, 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 blah. Maintains a shaky independence, relies on its wealth to continue to arm its troops and fund mercenaries. All right, very good. Get rid of that? Don't know if we can. Let's try and get rid of that. There we go. Okay, good. All right, so they're from Cilicia. We're still at the Renanan Pike. That's where we are at the moment. Okay, so... oh, look at that. He said nice Swedish. I pronounced it accurately.
Yeah, I was surprised.
Yeah, I've been around lots of Scandinavians, of course. So, okay, so we interrogate the woman. The last people they played for from Eshna was a disappointing show. Seems the town was quiet as a grave. The few who came were a sad and sorry bunch. They're now bound for Holmgard. Oh, so they're travelling north. They're going to our city, where they expect to find a bigger and more appreciative audience. Light is fast fading, remarks the old woman. Perhaps you and your company will camp with us tonight. We would deem it an honour and would be happy to entertain you with songs and dancing. You notice a hopeful look in the eyes of your soldiers. So, if we are weak and feeble, we set up camp with the troubadours, or do we decide instead to press on? Not sure. They've already done an interpretation of the journey. I'm not sure we have time for this. Could also be a trap.
Yeah, I say we press on.
Yeah, sorry, men. We've no time to. We've no time for that.
This isn't a holiday. We've got a mission.
Yeah, this isn't a holiday. Exactly. That's what I said to that bloke on the second day of filming on the journey. What was he like?
Yeah.
Should we go off somewhere, Alex? Yeah, in the bushes is where he wanted to go. Right. The Rangers appear to be disappointed by your decision, but you are their commanding officer, and they are elite soldiers of Summerland. They neither argue nor grumble as they follow you southward. Exactly, Alex. Exactly. Mm-hmm. So there we go. Oh, just kidding. It was pretty terrible, but you tried it. I think we should get him to come on and pronounce it for us quickly, mate. Yeah. If you fancy popping on for a couple of minutes while we're working our way through the adventure, let me know. Drop your Facebook address if you have a Facebook account, and I will send you a link to pop onto the stream for a couple of minutes. Yeah, okay, here we go. Darkness soon engulfs the highway. You're forced to stop and set up camp. The Rangers gather firewood. Guards are posted. You must now eat a meal or lose 3 endurance points. However, I have the skill of hunting. So unless I'm in a remote region, I can hunt and I don't have to eat a meal. So I'm not going to eat a meal. I'm just going to go and hunt, get some rabbit, whatever. The night passes without incident. At dawn, you break camp and continue along the road. Now we've got to pick a random number. Okay, so we're going to change screens. Here we go to the D10 screen. It's always D10 you're rolling in this game. We have rolled a 7. Turn to page 25. Okay. Here we go, Alex. Let's have a look. 25. Do you know what? I wouldn't mind writing a book like this, because I couldn't I, and publish it technically.
Yeah. You definitely could.
You know what it could be? It could be the quest to get your film made. And you have to pick the different skills and not be cheated by the charismatic producer and money people. That could be quite funny.
Fraught with peril.
Yeah, indeed. You could have all kinds of strange and horrendous, like backstabbing monsters called the Christie and things like that. They could be in the compendium section at the back. Sorry, that name just came to me at random. I don't know where I thought of it. After journeying, did I say 25 or no? I said 25, didn't I?
You said 25, yeah.
After journeying through rich wheat fields of Southland marches, the view that lies before you now looks especially bleak and colourless. The land is flat and desolate. So, for example, here I wouldn't be able to hunt. Relieved here and there by the ragged corpse of a stunted fir tree, you are now on the fringes of the wildlands beyond the pass of Moitura. So we've gone through we've gone through the part. Oh, I see. We're on that section of the road where the desert. See where the desert sticks in here?
Yeah.
That we're on the edge of that basically. So this particular part of the road is very barren. Up ahead, there's a forest on the map. During the afternoon, storm clouds gather above the peaks of the mountains to the west. There's low rolling thunder that warns you of imminent rain. It's early evening when your scouts find the ruins of an old temple. It's situated less than a mile from the highway. If you wish to camp for the night in the shelter of the ruins, so we've either going to continue or camp in the potentially haunted temple. What do you want to do? And by the way, guys,
what's the drawback? What's the drawback of? Sorry.
I was just going to say, guys in chat, you can also contribute if you want us to make a certain decision. Chip in at any time. Sorry, Alex. So, yeah, the options are it's about to rain. There's thunder. There's storm clouds. Do we continue on the road? Or one of our scouts has said, hey, there's a ruined temple a mile away, just off the road. Do we camp at the ruined temple? Or do we avoid the ruined temple? I reckon there be beasties in the ruined temple, but it could be fun.
I say camp because I don't know. It could be like the worst storm in 100 years or something.
It could be
wash away every.
All right, so we go to the temple. 141. Okay. You've not ridden far when a storm cloud breaks directly overhead and torrential rain. Hang on. Is that right? Oh, no. That's the option to avoid the temple. Sorry.
Lance.
I went to the wrong one. 290 is where we got to go. 290. So, there's even a picture of it. There's a picture of the ruined temple. Let me show you. So it's this. This is it.
All right.
Looks like one of those things at the beach in Brighton. All right. Okay. So the ruins are overgrown with weeds and roots, but you still can make out the shape of the inner sanctum of the temple quite distinctly. The huge marble canopy is intact and serves as excellent shelter from the storm. You recognize some hieroglyphs on the wall. This is once a temple of Tabrizi that offered shelter to the lonely traveller. As you tie your horse to a withered shrub, you glance up and see two men hiding beneath the canopy. They are dressed in long black robes. You order them to come out, but they neither move nor answer your call. Okay, so there's two of them. So here we go. I've got three options here. If you wish to signal your rangers to attack the robed strangers, that's one option. Try and capture them alive is another option. Sheath your weapon and extend the hand of friendship.
You broke up What were the last two? Sorry, what were three? What were 2 and 3?
Attack but capture them alive. Or sheath your weapon and extend the hand of friendship. So you basically got 3 options, which is get the Rangers to attack, which means they're probably going to die. Try and capture them alive, or sheath your weapon and extend the hand of friendship.
Well,
they're only sheltering from the rain.
I mean,
they've got
but
black robes.
They've not responded.
They've not responded.
Yeah, I don't know. What's up with that?
Yeah. Try and capture them alive. Try and capture them alive.
Yeah, I reckon. Don't know.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think extending the hand of friendship when they haven't responded, they're being rude. So, and so I think, I think let's try and. Your soldiers draw their swords and advance upon the strangers. The hooded men immediately raise their hands and emerge from the stone canopy. One of the men drops a small earthen flask of clear fluid, and it shatters on the hard marble floor. I wonder what that was for. Oh, hang on. A search of their. It's weird because it says one of them drops this thing, and it shatters on the floor, and then the next thing just says this. A search of their bodies reveals 12 crowns. But they surrendered. They dropped this vial. It doesn't say in the description the vial kills them. I'm just going to check the same number in the original book and see if it's the same bit and see if there's anything.
Did it say they were dead? Didn't it just say that we checked their bodies? Maybe we just searched them, sort of interrogate them.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, actually, okay. Search of their bodies. So we haven't killed them. Search of their bodies reveals 12 crowns. Mate, I'm in the money at the minute. So I've now got 50 crowns. I think there's a maximum of crowns I can carry as well, and I think it might be 50. Let me just check that.
So hold on a sec. We robbed these 2 gentlemen that were just taking shelter in the rain.
Well, we've searched them, and if you decide to keep any of the gold or food, make the necessary adjustments. Well, hang on. Let's see what around their necks. The men wear wooden amulets that are carved in the likeness of a fish. They are men of the scaly fish smell. Okay, so. If you possess the Kai discipline of healing, turn to 19. I do. So let's see what that reveals. It reveals, at once you recognize these amulets. They are symbols of a holy order called the Redeemers, a silent order of pilgrims devoted to a lifetime of prayer and healing. You apologize for your hasty reaction. The holy men both nod their shaven heads in forgiveness. Your Rangers pitch a camp, and preparations are soon underway for you to get a good night's sleep. You're hungry, you must now eat a meal or lose 3 endurance points. Yeah, well, I'm not going to go hunting now, so I'll deduct a meal. Okay, I think I feel bad, so I hand them back their money, 10 gold crowns. There might have been 12, but I seem to have only given them 10 back. That rounds up my total to 40. So road tax, you know how it goes. 200. So I go to 233, and I've got to cross a meal off. So I'm down to I've got 4 meals in my backpack. I'm down at 3. 233. We're going to 233. Okay. Oh, okay. We've got a combat situation, Alex. The first of the book. Let me just reduce my meal. 3. There we go. Your rest is disturbed by the anxious shouting of a night guard. Awake, awake, we're under attack. Throwing back the blankets, your Rangers leap to their feet. At the shadowy silhouette of horsemen circling the ruins, suddenly arrows whistle through the darkness. Your lookout emits a gurgling scream and falls to their knees. Right, well, that's one red shirt dead, so I'm now down to 49. The rangers gather their swords and shields, press themselves against the wet temple marble for protection. Dozens of warriors dressed in shiny red armor, I think these might be Vasagonians, clamber through the broken pillars. 2 rangers run to block their advance, but have failed. Right, that's another 2 dead. So I'm down to 47. Then the warrior sees you and quickens his pace. You cannot evade this combat. You must fight this warrior to the death. This is a bandit warrior with combat skill of 17 and endurance of 26. Well, I've got the summer sword, which gives my combat skill of 18 plus 10, 28, which means the difference between us is 11. So I'm going to be rolling my combat die roll on a plus 11 advantage. So you look up a kind of an odds chart, and that's where you go. It's at the back of the book here. So even if I roll a 1, he's still going to take a lot of damage, and I'm going to take a lot less. So on plus 11, if I roll a 1, he's going to take 9, and I'm only going to lose 3. He's got endurance of 26, by the way. But if I roll a 10, I kill him. If I roll a 9, I kill him. If I roll an 8, I kill him. And if I roll a 7, he takes 18 damage. So, hey, cats and kittens. I always get quite unnerved when I hear that phrase. Right, okay, so let's roll for our round of combat. D10, here we go. I rolled a 9. I killed him outright with the first blow.
Sweet.
Get in. Teach you to come in and mess up my camp, especially when I gave back those lovely fishermen people most of their money. All around you, the ruins echo to the clash of weapons and battle cries. These armor-clad horsemen are no ordinary bandit clan. They fight with discipline and skill unheard of. You step over the dead warrior and call about you a handful of your rangers. Your enemy has surrounded your horses. You must act quickly if you're to save them from being taken. You lead a charge through the ruins, which pierces the enemy line. They falter, they flee back into the darkness. However, by the time you reach the temple perimeter, only 11 of your horses remain. All others have vanished. After much thought, you decide to choose 10 rangers to continue the mission with you, and you send the remainder of your company back on foot. So I had 47 guys. I'm now down to 10.
Bloody hell.
Okay. As the gloomy light of dawn gradually fills the sky, you and your companions bid a sad farewell to those who march home. Pick a number from the random table, 0 to 2. If it's 3 or higher, turn to 51. Okay, so we're going to do a die roll, basically. I have a feeling we don't want 1 or 2, but let's see. We've rolled a 5, so we're going to 51. And we're now down to 10 guys. I knew these guys had red shirts on. I dare say a few more of them were killed in that fight. Okay, here we go. So I'm just going to adjust my chart, my little character. I've got a little character sheet here. There are 50 rangers. Well, we're down to 10 rangers. I have a feeling that probably by the end of this, there won't be any.
No.
Okay, now you've been riding for 4 hours without rest when you see a large flock of birds. Spies from Dundland. Swooping around the brow of a distant ridge. Now, it's asking if I possess the skill of animal kinship. I don't. That's one of the skills. I nearly picked that one, but I don't have that. I'll pick that next time. If you did not possess this skill, you can investigate the ridge, or should we press on and ignore the birds? Well, the birds are probably they're probably there investigating dead bodies, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, picking away.
Investigate or press on?
Oh.
Yeah. Anyone in chat want to give us some advice on this? Should we investigate the swooping? We're approaching the outskirts of the Rhiannon forest, I think is where we are currently.
I mean, we could take a look. We take a look.
All right, let's take a
Might
look.
be some
So
salvage.
investigate the ridge. We go to 328. Investigate the ridge. Okay, right. I think we know what happened to the guys that went missing. So it's good that we investigated. As you reach the top of the ridge, a gruesome sight befalls you. The bodies of people and horses lie scattered across the valley beyond, their bones picked clean by scavenging crows. You hear gasps of horror as your rangers recognize the armor and tattered uniforms of these skeletal beings. They were once your country folk. These are the cavalry. So these are the reinforcements that were sent. And there's a picture of one of them. Not in a very good state.
Got half his skull missing.
So, yeah. So they've been there. I mean, they've been there for some time. They must have died in battle, for the decomposing corpses of the bandit warriors lie entwined among them. 40 brave soldiers, half of the squadron that left. As you ride away from this valley of death, you are comforted by the knowledge that Captain Duval was not among the slain. So I'm quite glad that my character knows the outline and formation of Captain Duval's skull, and therefore was able to tell accurately that this person was not among the dead, using my CSI Magnamund, World of Magnamund skills. Okay, very good. So we're going to go to 120. I think I'm going to dash and get a can of Coke, Alex, from the fridge. Can I purchase you anything?
I might go get a drink myself, actually. So
tell you what. So let's
it.
While we do that, let's put this choice before chat. I'm going to let chat decide our next choice. Okay. This is the choice before us, chat. So after riding for several uneventful hours at length, you reach a highway junction. Now, I'm going to guess that is the junction just by the Rhiannon forest, where you can either turn east towards Eshnar or south towards Rhiannon. South to Rhiannon, 60 miles, Eshnar, 40 miles. You've now reached a location where the Kai discipline of hunting can be used to fulfill a meal requirement. Okay, so if you choose to go south or you choose to go east. So, guys, we're going to go either south or east. Chat, please vote, and we'll go in the direction where we get the most votes. All right, I'm going to dash and get a Coke.
Okay. See you in a sec.
Okay, I have returned. Right, what did chat say? East, we've got 1 vote for east, and we've got 2 votes for south. So it looks like south has it then. I mean, south is the logical choice. East takes us close to the wildlands, which is more of a deadly area, and south takes us more towards the Chasm of Doom, which I suspect we're going to have to get to eventually anyway. Lance's Lone Wolf Stream, sponsored by. Okay, not really, but I do feel like I needed one. All right. Okay, guys. So we're going to go with the vote of chat. We are, in fact, going to go south then. So if you continue south, turn to page 33 or number 33. Not necessarily the page. Here we are. It's almost dark when you reach the edge of a densely forested valley. You can make out the highway disappearing into the trees ahead. So that would be the Rhiannon Forest, which on this map I have a little bit more detailed. Oh, consider some sort of temple thing. That's where we're going. We're going in there. Okay. All right. So they made us go south, Alex. 2 votes to 1.
Okay.
Oh,
Sounds good.
Everybody but one person watching took part. So hang on a minute. Now I've lost where I was. I think it was 33. Yeah, it was south was 33, wasn't it? Here we go. Okay. So it's almost dark when you reach the edge of a densely forested valley. So that would be the Rhiannon Forest, which is straight ahead. You can just make out the highway disappearing into the trees ahead and a signpost that is pointing towards the south. According to the sign, you are now only 40 miles from Rhiannon. Your troops are tired and in need of food and rest. So if you want to set up camp on the edge of the forest, that's one option. If you want to take some rangers to scout for the valley for bandits, you can do that, or you can choose to press on without food and sleep. Ooh. Not sure about that last one. I think scouting ahead to check for bandits is probably a good idea.
That's fair. Yeah.
Yeah. And then if no bandits are discovered, then we rest. Okay. You send 3 of your rangers sporting their red Star Trek vests into the valley with orders to scout ahead. Before the scouts leave, you remind them to report back within 2 hours. You're hungry and must now eat a meal. Or lose 3 endurance points. It's been over 3 hours since your scouts departed, so I'm now down to 7 guys. Told you these guys were going to diminish pretty quickly. If you wish to send 3 more scouts into the woods, if you choose to wait until dawn to investigate, if you decide it's too dangerous to stay here, you can still ride east towards the town of Eshna. Okay, so basically we've got send more scouts, stay where we are until dawn, which I suspect is the same option as let's eat and rest, or travel east to Eshna. It's obviously dangerous, but my 3 scouts are probably looking a bit... The options are a bit shit. It's like travel east, wait until dawn, or... and I also thought I was going to go out ahead with them. I actually didn't think I was going to go on. I was going to send them off.
Should you wait until dawn?
Wait until dawn?
I don't know. What were you about to say? Sorry.
It seems late in the day to travel to Eshna. Yeah, I guess.
Plus,
I guess
they're knackered, right?
I guess wait until dawn. I have a feeling that this is a foolhardy choice, but at first light, you prepare to enter the valley. The highway is enshrouded by mist, and soon on both sides, the random forest closes in. Tree trunks of every shape and size crowd thickly around you. I'm just waiting for Treebeard to step out. After a few minutes, you find a wreck of a burnt-out wagon abandoned on the side of the road. Behind it, a track disappears eastwards into the hill. Stop and search the wagon, option number 1. Ignore the wagon, press along the highway, or investigate the track that goes east into the hills. So looking at this map. Oh, that's east into the hills. That may well lead towards the Chasm of Doom, which I have a feeling is where we might be going eventually. But I think we should search the wagon first, right?
Yeah, I mean, I was prepared to check the tracks out, but let's do the wagon first. Yeah.
Well, I imagine we'll still have that option. No cargo remains intact, and it's charred. However, in spite of the damage, you find enough proof among the ashes to confirm your suspicions. This is the wreck of a Summerland cavalry wagon out of 3 that left for Rwandan with Captain Duval and his troop over a month ago. As you stand in the ruins of the wagon, one of your rangers suddenly cries out in pain. You look just in time to see them falling from their horse, a disc of sharp steel embedded in their chest. I'm down to 6 now.
Bloody hell.
Ambush, take cover, you shout, as more of the deadly discs whisk out from the trees and claim victims. Frightened horses gallop in all directions with your soldiers clinging desperately to their reins. The hidden attackers vanish just as quickly as they appeared, but not before 3 of your troop are led dead on the highway.
So we've got three left.
Well, I think that includes probably the guy that died. So I think it's 4 I've got left. After burying your dead, you must make the difficult decision. Only 4 rangers left at your side. The shadowy enemy could return. Do we continue along the highway, riding full speed for Rwandan? If you decide to avoid the main highway for fear of another ambush, we can continue along the eastern track. Not a lot of options there. East or south at full pelt.
It's like certain death one way, being maimed and disfigured the other way.
Well, I think you're right.
Tricky one.
The track, I think, go for the track.
All right. Okay.
God, there's some kind of stoneworm. Just seen a picture of a stoneworm. Right, you've not ridden very far when you notice fresh hoof prints in the dust. If you possess the Kai discipline of tracking, yes, I do. 264. Your Kai sense enables you to identify the hoof prints. They are disappearing along the path towards the east. They are made by Summerland cavalry horse. If you wish to follow the prints, go one way. If you wish to head in the opposite direction of the tracks, well, we should follow them, shouldn't we?
I think we should. Yeah.
That's the way we're going. Soon you arrive at the entrance of a mine. A mine, he says. A mine. Sorry, going Lord of the Rings there. Soon you arrive at the entrance of a mine. 2 sets of footprints disappear into the gloom of the tunnel, and judging by their shape and size, they could only be made by a big Tabrizi. You shout into the mine, Tabrizi, Tabrizi, Tabrizi. But there is no reply except the echo of your call. See how accurate that was? Okay, do we choose to enter the mine or do we call off the search and continue returning along the track?
Let's have a look. Let's go in the mine.
Tegan has said, must be hard for these rangers to get life insurance. Their survival rate seems pretty low. Yeah, I think they go to the same insurance company as the men in jumpsuits that man James Bond villain bases.
Yes.
You're saying enter the mine?
I reckon let's go for it.
I did see a picture of a mine worm just now, so I have a feeling we might be coming to that page. Okay. It is impossible for you to enter the mine on horseback, so you're forced to leave your horses at the entrance. The mine is very dark, but you are quick to notice that unlit torches hang from the walls. If you possess the summer sword, which I do, you notice its light fades over time once you unsheath it. You can take a torch and light them before continuing. In the flickering light, you discover footprints leading to a collapsed section of the tunnel. They continue all the way to the top over a huge amount of earth, which reaches to the ceiling, only leaving a small gap. So if you wish to climb the mound and squeeze through, call off your search and remount your horses and continue the route down the track. Okay, so do I wish to squeeze through this tiny hole or go back to the track, Alex?
I mean, I'm at this point, I'm all in. So, I mean, we've come this far into a bloody mine. We've lost
you're all about squeezing into the tiny hole. All right. Better not say your adventure ends here. 254. Okay, well, there's some options. So I'm pleased to say that's not what it says. The tunnel continues to descend for several hundred yards until you reach a wide chamber with a timber floor. 2 pairs of footprints can be seen in the slit covering the rotten planks. To your horror, they both seem to disappear into a gaping hole, another one. Inching your way to the jagged edge, you can make out 2 bodies lying at the bottom of a muddy shaft. You found your scouts. They're both beyond help. I didn't know I'd sent any scouts into the mine ahead, so that must have been from another option.
Wasn't it from the guys that went off looking into the forest?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why they went this far, Jesus, but all right.
I know, right? They're only supposed to check that it was okay. As the soft timbers begin to sag, you scurry away from the edge to avoid a similar fate. Beyond the hole are 2 exits from the chamber. One goes east, one goes south. If you possess the Kai discipline of tracking, which I do, so I'm going to be able to tell us something before we choose our options.
Nice.
Suddenly you realise that you've... Hang on. Okay. Suddenly you realise that you've entered a remote section of the Macon mines via a disused passage from the foothills of the Macon Range. So the mines of Macon. Okay. So we've headed east into the mountains, so not west. For hundreds of years, this ore of this range has been blessed with the bane of thousands of people. They've either found wealth or perished. You know that if only you can locate a section of this mine that is still in use, you'll be able to follow the tunnels all the way to Rhiannon itself. Rhiannon's to the south, so you decide to take the southern chamber. Okay, well, I'm going to guess that that's a good option. So we go to 101. Okay. You follow this tunnel for over 2 hours before arriving in a huge cavern. It's divided by an underground river. There's a wide archway in the south wall. On the opposite bank, you can just make out a shape of another passage leading off to the west. There's a small rowboat on this side of the river. 2 pairs of oars can be seen protruding from behind the moss-covered boulder to which it's tied. So we can use the rowboat to cross to the other bank and take the west tunnel, or we can decide to take the boat and continue south via the river. South seems to be the way to go, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, if I don't know, there's something a bit spooky about this chasm, and if at the very centre there's a body of water that we've got to cross with a little boat, then I don't know, just seems too exposed.
I'm gonna take the river. Let's go in the right direction. As you drift beneath the arch of the southern tunnel, you pull your Kai cloak around your body and raise its hood. By the way, it doesn't mention any of my 4 guys that left with me, so I'm just wondering if they're still here. The ceiling is leaking. Huge drops of all-stained water rain down on the crowded boat. Okay, so they are with me. You go for over a mile before eventually emerging in a small grotto. Flight of stone steps rises out of the river and ascends to an archway in a rock wall. So we can either take the steps and investigate the tunnel, or we can continue south in the river in the boat.
I think let's press on.
Don't disturb the water. I have to say, pressing on seems logical, but I
you got a feeling?
I don't know. I fear we may be in this boat too long. Okay, well, press on. For over 10 miles, the river winds its steady course southwards. You pass several grottos, but their rocky banks are so steep they make landing impossible. You're rowing along a particularly wide tunnel when you suddenly realise the boat is moving faster and faster, and you can hear the sound of rushing water. You brace and prepare yourself for rush water. You're totally unprepared for the sight that befalls you. Less than 50 feet away, the river disappears over the edge of a massive waterfall. Desperately, your rangers row against the current towards the tunnel wall, but it's too late. You're caught in the current, and the boat is hurtling towards the edge. Pick a number from the random number table. Oh, shit. One of these, I have a feeling, might lead to our death. All right, let's see what we roll. We've rolled an 8. 158. Your stomach churns as the boat lurches forward into space. You tumble for what seems like an eternity. The impact is so hard that you're concussed and slip away into unconsciousness. When you awake, you find yourself laying down in cold mud and gravel. Your head is pounding. Your lungs feel as if they're on fire. You've lost your backpack and all that it contains. So you don't lose your special items, but I have lost my rope and my lamp spur. Fucking typical, that. And my meals. So I've lost all my food, my 2 healing potions, and my meals. And I'm now alone. So there's no trace of my rangers. So that's it. All the red shirts have gone now. And and my insurance is down to 21. But with my healing ability, I will cure each point for each section I go through without combat. So I should get back to 24 pretty quickly. Okay, well, thanks for that decision, Alex. Now we turn to 219.
It'll all pay off in the end.
I have to say, it was a much more peaceful journey with the inside man in command. Right, okay. It takes nearly an hour for you to fully recover from your ordeal, taking your new surroundings. You're standing at the edge of a huge slag heap which rises out of the dark waters. Less than 20 feet from you, there's a summit. A dim light illuminates a long chute. You decide to take a closer look. At the top of the chute, you find a tunnel, deserted except for a mine wagon. If you want to examine the wagon, turn to page blah blah. If you decide to ignore the wagon, you can begin to climb the steep service tunnel by turning to... Well, we might as well examine the wagon.
Okay.
Yeah. So far, being curious has paid off for the most part. To your delight, you discover a miner's backpack and a shovel lying at the bottom of the wagon. Well, I'll take my backpack. You find enough food for 1 meal. Right, easy come, easy go. So I've just got a backpack back, and I now have 1 meal. God knows what state it's in from being down there. Fungus sandwich, spam. Yeah, tin of spam, tin of miner's spam. Slip the backpack over your shoulders before attempting to climb. Okay, so that was worth doing. 185. So we're climbing up this steep thing. You are hungry and must now lose a meal or lose 3 endurance points. If you possess the Kai discipline of hunting, you're unable to use it in this instance. Right, okay. Well, I just went 2 sections without combat, so my endurance is back to 23. So not quite 24 yet. And I have 1 meal, or I could lose 3 endurance. I'll eat the meal, I think. So I've just eaten my minus spam can. Okay. The tunnel continues for several miles before eventually arriving at a long deserted gallery. 40. Turn to 40. A line of empty ore wagons are parked along a stretch of track that disappears into the west wall of this gallery. Above the arch main tunnel, a flight of wooden stairs leads to a smaller passage that's lit by a torch. You stay hidden in the shadows, watching the gallery for half an hour before you're satisfied it's safe to enter. If you have the Kai discipline of tracking, Then turn at once to this page. Okay, well, I'll do that quickly. 349. I do have that skill. What's happening? Judging by the smoothness of the stone floor and the condition of the ore wagons, you deduce that this gallery must serve a major section of the mines. A fresh breeze can be felt blowing out of the west tunnel. Your senses tell you you're near the surface. Ha-ha! Rhiannon lies due west in the same direction as the ore wagon tunnel. Mindful of this fact, you take a deep breath, emerge from the shadows, and continue. 55. Okay, so we could be out of it soon.
We've not come across any beings or elves or dwarfs, anything down there. But the lights are on, so what's up with that?
Somebody's using it, that's for sure. As you make your way along the torchlit tunnel, you pass several ore wagons bearing identical brands on their wooden sides. It's a cross mole line. Oh, here we go. There's a picture of it. Actually, let me go full screen on that. So they've got that brand on them.
Okay.
OV underneath. Oh, the seal of Oren Valund, the Baron of Rhiannon. It confirms your belief that you're heading in the right direction. Suddenly, there's the sound of approaching footsteps. They become steadily louder, accompanied by the sharp crack of a whip. Come on, you devil dogs, move it! The big eye sees all. Ah, Mrs. Martin Muses, thank you for popping in. Guys, do hit the like and subscribe if you haven't already. And if you feel so inclined, please do a little post about the stream and put the link for the stream in the post. Okay, we've got two options, mate. We can dive into one of the empty wagons, or we can hide in the shadows cast by the rough tunnel wall.
Ooh, I reckon wagon.
I reckon shadows.
If they've got torchlight.
Doesn't say. I've got the skill of camouflage, which may or may not be relevant shortly. Oh, mate, hang on a second. Oof. So, I should have muted myself then and forgot.
Well, that'll give us away.
Yeah, too late now.
The spam.
Yeah, so no, I'm gonna. You wait with bated breath as a line of haggard ruinees file past your barely concealed hiding place. Your large fart nearly gives you away, and an escort of bandit warriors urges them forward, beating any who falter to stop out of line. He stops and sniffs for a second. Someone's just eaten an Indian meal, he says. Each of these miners is forced to take hold of a wagon and push it back along the tunnel. So whoever's mining this originally, these guys have taken it over. You watch and wait until they've all but disappeared from view. You continue to wait until you're sure the coast is clear. Finally, you reach a point where the tunnel emerges into daylight. To your left is a dense copse that's been cut back from the entrance, and wagon tracks lead to a timber gantry constructed above a mound of ore. The miners and guards who passed you are now at this gantry, but they're too busy to notice you when you sprint from the entrance and dive into the cover of trees. After a brief pause for breath, you set off in the direction of Rhiannon. Okay, so that was our adventure in the mine. And we're now heading for the town. Okay, the trees are alive with bandit patrols, but your quick wits and Kai's skills prevent you from being spotted. Eventually, you find yourself staring across an expanse of open plain towards the town of Rhiannon. Oh, I've lost Alex for a second. Oh, he's back. Hey, I lost you for a sec there, mate.
Yeah, I lost you.
If Brits call flashlights torches, what do you call actual torches? We call them old torches. Okay.
Tiki torches.
So, gonna put the map back up. So the land around this town of Rhiannon is fairly open. Much of the mining town has been... Oh, the sight that lies ahead of you is very disquieting. Much of the mining town has been burnt to the ground. The blackened ruins of what were once shops, cottages, and taverns are now little more than smouldering mounds of charcoal. You are beginning to fear the worst, that your favourite pub, the Big Ginge, may no longer be standing, that Rhiannon has been totally destroyed, when a gentle breeze clears the haze of wood smoke, hanging like a grey curtain above the ruins. Inside the perimeter of ruined buildings, you can see a barricade has been thrown up around a tower of stone. Above the tower, a tattered flag still flies. It brings you renewed hope. Perhaps your favourite pub still stands. Okay, it is the cavalry standard of the King's Guard Regiment. The sudden crack of twig makes you freeze. You glance behind to see 3 bandits creeping through the trees towards you. The wide steel tips of their spears are coated with a clear sticky fluid. Okay. If you possess the Kai discipline of hunting, which I do, or have ever visited Gorn Cove, which I have, turn to page 45. I can also decide to stand and fight them. I can choose to evade them and just run across 800 yards away to the town. Well, I do possess those. I tick both those boxes. So let's see what extra information that gives me. You recognize Gandam's sap dripping from the spears. You dare not engage in combat. You run. Okay, well, thanks for making that decision for me. Very good. 307. Oh, mate. A pack of snarling, breezy war dogs are released in pursuit. I'm going to have to go full screen on this one.
Brilliant.
Yeah, that could be Melissa's
Is that just
dog.
one of them?
Yeah, that's just one of them.
Wow.
Mr. Brown, who's got his own channel, normally does a stream on Sunday nights. I think it's just popped in to say hi. Right, so here we go. From all along the forest, groups of bandits emerge. Oh my God, there's an army of them, scolded by their bullying sergeants for allowing you to escape. So they've been hunting me, basically. Arrows begin to fall around me. I duck and weave. It's a bit like that scene in Game of Thrones where the son's trying to get back to the brother's trying to get back to him. But your confidence is soon shaken by a pack of snarling warhounds breaking out of the woods to your right. Yep, the breezy bulldogs. Here they come. Fortunately, you release the cat of terror to combat them. No, that's a different number. So I don't know when that happens. It's funny though, isn't it? You got a dog on one page, and you've got like a creepy looking cat on the other page. You are less than 500 yards from Rhiannon, but the warhounds are closing in with frightening speed. Okay, so I've got 2 options here, mate. Choose to quicken your pace and try and outrun them. Decide to halt and fight them. Ooh.
I say fight.
I'd probably go with the outrunning option, which will.
Yeah, well, hold on. Maybe that's. My logic was maybe if they're outpacing us, they're going to catch up before we can.
Okay, well, look, it's one of those situations where 2 dogs faster than their brothers close upon us. I've got to win the combat in 3 rounds or less. If I don't, it's going to be bad. Okay, so we're going to be on the die rolling thing. So let's share screen again. Okay, they've got endurance of 25 and a combat skill of 17. But as we know, with the Summerland, I've got a combat skill of 28. So the difference is 11 again. 7. That's not quite an outright kill. That's damage of 18. And I think 0 to me. Yeah. I have to roll 6 or less even to take any damage. So in the second round of combat, 10. They are dead.
Nice.
I take no damage. So in fact, I kill them both in 2 rounds. So we go to 155. Beyond the approaching warhound pack, you can see where a dozen bandit archers are fast closing in. If you were to survive the rending jaws of the warhounds, the archers would be sure to pick you off without wasting a second. You turn towards Ruanan and run as fast as your legs will carry you. Too bloody right I do. 225. Try to ignore the pain from your aching legs and the sweating of your balls and the fear that your knots in your stomach by forcing your concentration on the sun flag. Lots of description about sweat and skin and that sort of thing. 300 yards, you run into some gruesome remains where the corpses of bandits lie twisted on the ground, killed by arrows. Many have lain there for a couple of weeks. Okay, I bet it pongs a bit round there. The beleaguered defenders have just spotted you. They spotted your Kai cloak. That's the "Hey, I'm a Jedi" giveaway cloak that you wear.
Right.
Yeah, it's a bit of a giveaway. I don't know why I wear it all the time. You've just passed the ruins of a burnt-out cottage when you feel an agonizing pain tear through your left thigh. An arrow has pierced your leg. Crouching in the ruined cottage, a bandit sniper sniggers evilly. Can you snigger evilly, Alex? Okay, I've got to pick a number from 1 to 10 on the random table. In other words, roll the dice. 9. If it's 6 to 10, turn to 300. This better not be your adventure ends here. It's not. Well, there's the no, hang on, that guy. I think that's supposed to be the bowman. And look, there's some remains of something.
Yeah.
A scream of pain and terror fills the air. The sniper crashes to the ground as the jaws of a warhound. Oh, he's been attacked by his own dog. You look up to see a man running towards you from the barricade. He has a shield in one hand and a longbow in the other. It's Captain Duval, the very man I've been seeking to find. Okay, he reaches you, breathless from his run, draws an arrow from his quiver. The warhounds, having tired of their victim, are in search of fresh sport and are turning their attention to you when Duval aims and fires, drawing another arrow as soon as his bow is empty. So he kills all them. Captain grabs you by the arm, swings you over the shoulder. The bandit archers are now in range and the soldiers are forced back by a hail of arrows. Okay. Finally, you reach the barricade and a wagon is pulled aside to let you in. The captain is close to exhaustion. He staggers and his guards rush to catch him before he drops you to the ground. Okay, so in other words, I've just been rescued by a big burly bloke. Duval is a gigachad. Do we have any idea what that means, Alex?
Just a very masculine man.
Okay.
Like strong like a bear.
Strong like okay. A circle of unshaven faces stare down at you. A soldier cradles your leg while another snaps the shaft.
Okay. All right.
Well, another snaps the shaft that is buried deeply in your thigh. I think they mean the shaft of the arrow. You are very lucky, he says, as he bandages a handful of lamps believes to your aching limb. Your wound is clean and the bleeding is but slight. You lose 4 endurance points, but the soldier's quick thinking has saved you from infection. Okay, so my endurance was back up to max, but is now down to 19. All right. Turn to 116. All right. Okay, I sense our mission is partially successful because we've met the captain. Oh my God, this is a big section of text. I was hoping the king would send out a large search party, Captain Duval says wryly. I was beginning to tire of this town. You rise from your straw bed and offer your thanks, making it clear that you're not up for any other kind of action. Then Vex Electronica enters the hut, and then you say, Captain, if you could leave us but for a minute. I need to speak to Vex alone for 3 hours. 3 hours passes quite swiftly, and then you exit the hut. Okay, so, "'Tis nothing compare with you, Lone Wolf," replies the captain. "Your bravery is legend. Your presence here is worth 100 soldiers." Because he went to Rada, you see. So, he asks you about your mission and recounts the events that led to this meeting, the long ride south, loss of your company. "Oh, yes, the bandits, Baraka's fighters," retorts Duval, his gruff voice containing his attempt for them. Obviously, he's played by Hugh Grant or someone. It seems we have suffered at his hand. A month ago, he and his Vasagonian renegades ambushed my troop on the top of the Rannan Pike. We were sorely outnumbered, and the fight was bitter, but we broke free from their deadly grip and escaped here to Rhiannon. We've been beleaguered here ever since, unable to do much except for pray for help to arrive from Holmgard. We have weapons and courage enough to resist them, but we've barely enough food and water left to survive another week. You asked, Val, what became of the people of Rhiannon. Do you want to do that line, Alex, just to add a bit of flavour?
Yeah, where can I find the line?
No, you just say it, like what became of the people of Rhiannon.
But what became of the people of Rhiannon?
That was different from the lone wolf voice you did earlier.
Oh, you wanted me to be like, okay, fine.
Yeah. Again, please.
But what became of the people of Rhiannon?
That's good. That's the lone wolf voice we had earlier. Most are now slaves. Baraka has taken the mines and he used the ruinees as forced labor. Other than yourself, there is only one other who has escaped from the mines and survived the warhounds and the bandit snipers. This man is Baron Orland van Vanaloon. Come, I shall take you to him. Not sure if I pronounced his name correctly. Then I told you I'm starving. Once again, Vex beckons you towards the hut for another night of jolly rumping. To choose this option, turn to page 666. That doesn't appear to be in this book. That must be a trap. Okay, so we won't take that up. To continue, go to 3118. 318. All right, fantastic. Let's do that. Oh yeah, Vex is a big Henry Cavill fan. DeVal should be played by Henry Cavill. I'm sure Vex would agree. Oren Vanaloon is the 15th Baron of Rhiannon, a noble warrior of royal lineage. Yada 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 yada. Okay. He has lost everything, says DeVal quietly. Baraka has destroyed his castle, his land, his town, and his family. His sons are dead, and his only daughter, Madelon, has been taken captive by Baraka himself. I don't think much of her personally. Only a 5 out of 10, he says quietly. I feel this ordeal may have broken his mind. Baron's daughter shares the same name as her royal cousin, Madeline. You first meet the crown princess when you fled to Holmgard to warn the king of the destruction. That's right, I did meet her, yes. The pathetic man raises a tear-stained face and with feeble voice mutters a curious rhyme over and over and over again. Oh, it's the last 2 lines of the poem. Do you want to do that? Do you want to read those lines as the strange baron? Different voice and character, of course, Alex.
The dead of the Mackengorge shall rise to claim their long-awaited reward. That one.
No, yeah, it starts the line before that. When a fair royal maiden on the altar dies.
All right. When a fair royal maiden on the altar dies, the dead of the Mackengorge shall rise.
That's it. Vex appears at the doorway and says, "Can I have Rumpy Pumpy with Henry Cavill?" "No, go away," says DeVal. Okay, if you possess a scroll, turn to 279. If you do not possess a scroll, unfortunately... Oh, yeah, I do possess the scroll. The scroll with the... That's the scroll that we picked up at the beginning from the mysterious dude in the hut.
But didn't we... It wasn't in your rucksack that we lost?
No, because it comes under special items.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. As you unfurl the scroll and begin to read its ominous contents, yeah, so that's... you must save her, Lone Wolf. You must prevent the sacrifice. Oh, wait, that's you saying that as the Baron.
Am I the Baron now? You've cast me as the Baron. All right. What was it again? What you say?
He's telling Lone Wolf to save her.
Save her, Lone Wolf. Save her.
That'll do. Save who? Questions Captain DeVal as he tries to calm the distressed Baron. My daughter, Madeline. Okay, so here's some interesting information. Baraka has found the dagger of Vashna. Sounds like the dagger of Vaj to me. The dagger of Vashna. There you go. Vex Electronica. Just noticing Gandalf the Ginger subtitle. Oh, by the way, Vex, Alex is single, I believe. Just saying. Anyway. Okay, so
Lance
the Baron...
Lance gave me that name. You gave me that name, Lance.
I bestowed that honor upon you, Alex. The Baron explains that during the age of the Black Moon, King Ulna of Summerland killed the mightiest of all the Dark Lords, Vashna, with the divine Summer Sword. Yeah, the Sword of the Sun, which I've now got. Vashna's remains and the bodies of his soldiers were hurled into the bottomless abyss of Macan Gorge. Okay, that's the Chasm of Doom, which is in the middle of the map.
Did you say bottomless pit?
Yeah, well, they're down there somewhere. He plans to lead the dead to victory, first to conquer Summerland, then all of the Lastlands. You stare at the Baron in stunned silence. If Baraka completes the sacrifice, all is lost. What mortal army can stand against the Legion of the Dead? Captain de Val ushers you from the chamber and closes the door. I fear he was insane, but your scroll confirms my worst nightmare. He speaks the truth. Now I must barricade myself in my room, for Vex again will be wanting my pleasures. As the dreadful significance of the verse begins to sink in, your thoughts are broken by the shrill blast of a war horn. Oh, you could have done a clown horn. That would have been good. Captain de Val strides over to an arrow slit and peers out across the plain. The bandits! They're launching an attack! If you possess Captain de Val's sword, why would I possess his sword? I didn't take his sword, did I, when he rescued me or whatever?
Well, it must have been like along the way, like a stop-off point or something.
I forgot that Vex was married. Yeah, actually, I did know that. But, you know, Alex is available should that ever change. Clown horn would certainly be more menacing. There you go, Alex.
That's true. Yeah.
The red shirts. The red shirts are coming. So yeah. By the way, these guys are all joking aside. These guys are part of a channel that I know for a guy called Cannoli Sasquatch, and they do wicked streams on a different film every Monday night, which unfortunately is my early hours of Tuesday morning. But I've been on a couple of their streams with them. It's been a lot of fun, and I was going to do their Titanic one, but I was absolutely shattered. But I sent them Titanic to watch. Do you remember Titanic from the Adam and Joe show? I said, yeah, watch this in preparation for your stream. Okay, mate. So I don't possess the sword. I've got the Summer Sword, but I don't possess Captain de Val's sword. So 289. Let's see what's happening. Big attack. Okay. Well, I don't think this is going to go very well because there's a picture here. Let me.
Much death.
Don't know if that's supposed to be Captain de Val. Okay, you follow Captain de Val as he hurtles down the broad watchtower and out onto the barricade. There's a rolling sound like distant thunder fills the air. Cavalry are pouring onto the plains from all sides. Okay, this is a big attack. Columns of foot soldier in bright scarlet armor march through their ranks, herding a frightened wall of people before them. They're Ruinese, cries de Val, his hand shielding the light from his eyes. That cur Bakara, he's using them as a shield. All around you, Captain's soldiers have drawn their arrows and are waiting for his signal to fire, but it is an order he dare not give. Suddenly, a hidden catapult hurtles a massive black rock through the air. It arcs and tumbles straight towards the barricade. You stare in horror as it bursts into flame and disintegrates, showering a rain of blazing oil on everyone beneath. The soldiers cannot evade the deluge, and many of them are badly burnt before the flames are sudden. A battle cry resounds from the enemy ranks. It's the signal to attack. Oh dear, this is not going so well. So that's that picture. I guess that's a soldier. Suddenly there's an onrush of Scarlet Warriors who are now racing towards the barricade. Okay, mate, we've got a few different options coming up here. Blazing oil has scattered de Val's troops. You hear de Val shout your name. His cloak and tunic are ablaze. If you have reached the Kai rank of Journeyman, in other words, you possess 8 disciplines, turn to 255. Well, I do, because I've got 8 skills. So, because I'm playing the books right through. You must rally the defenders or all is lost. You order 2 soldiers to help the captain. They've already reached the perimeter of Ruanan and are now creeping forward under the cover of the broken cottage walls. You shout orders to de Val's soldiers to defend the barricade, but the enemy is less than 100 yards from the wall. You're afraid you might be too late to repel their attack. Turn to 186. Okay, this is all going a bit Pete Tong. Okay, right, we've got another fight on our hands. Vasagonian bandits break the cover and charge. Coolly, you give the order to fire. Fire! Cloud of arrows. Hang on, that's Lone Wolf. Can you do the Lone Wolf order to fire?
Fire!
Yeah, much better, Alex. Good to have consistency. Poops is hitting the fan quite quickly. Yeah, that's what happens when I let Alex make the decisions on the game. Okay, so we're in a combat situation, so let's get the combat dice ready. So bandit warriors have survived death and they reach the barricade. Most are slain as they try to enter, but a small determined section of their boldest fighters break through and are close to where you stand. Suddenly, a thick-bodied warrior leaps onto the wagon and attacks you. Now, he's got combat skill of 18, so I'm on a plus 10, but he's got endurance of 25. I can evade the combat anytime from jumping from the wagon. No, I don't want to do that. I'm going to kill him. So let's roll a d10. Here we go. Ah, so 1. That's not good. So a 1 on plus 10 is he's taken 8 damage, so he is down to 17, and I have taken 3, so I am down to, now I'd be at 21 now, so I'm down to 18. Okay, so another round of combat. Come on, I've got to kill him this time. 5. He has taken 12 damage, so that's 20 in total, and I've taken another 2. Okay, third round of combat. 1. Okay, he is dead because even with a roll of a 1, he still takes 8 damage, and I take another 3, so that was 5 more for me in total. Ooh, so I'm down to 13 endurance. That's not good. Turn to 2, 4, 3. Now, so I'm going to have to keep an eye. I'm going to start using my healing ability for any section I'm not in combat. Devour runs past the wagon, leading a dozen of his best men in a counter charge, which drives back the enemy to the barricade. None escape alive. Those who survive, devour swordsmen, cut them down. Well, hey! So it sounds like we're out of the poop a little bit. The Summerlanding shout victory before you're faced with a new and sinister threat. Okay, turn to 1, 2, 4. So the battle continues to rage. This is kind of like, it's not quite Minas Tirith, is it? But
Helm's Deep.
Helm's Deep, yeah. Oh, okay. This thing's advancing towards us, mate. Hang on.
Is it the cat?
No, it's not the freaky cat. It's this thing.
Right.
And there's someone peeking through.
Hello.
I like this. David Macy. You don't fire arrows, you loose them. Loose! Yep. That's right. That's 2. Okay, so yeah, 1, 2, 4. A large shield on wheels is being pushed slowly towards the barricade. Arrow shafts soon bristle from its thick wooden planks. The soldiers fire their bows time and again in an attempt to hit the shielded foe. Suddenly, a robed figure darts from behind it and levels a black staff at the barricade. He's cut down by an arrow, but not before he lets loose from his staff a guttering ball of flame. It cartwheels from the plane, explodes with tremendous roar, hurtling bodies of defenders from the barricade high into the air. So it's a bit like the bit where the wall explodes in Helm's Deep. Howdy there, Gargoyle Deer's Nuts. That's a very interesting profile name. Could only be beaten by Tabrizi Big Balls, I think. So great to have you on the stream. Thanks for checking it out. Okay, so I think we're probably going to be in a bit of a combat situation again. So I'm going to get the combat dice thing ready. We are currently under siege in the town of Ruanan, which is in the middle of this map, just north of the big Chasm of Doom here. Okay, so blah, 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 blah. So basically the situation is, in the wake of the fireball, there's a big fireball. The defenders are stunned. Your attention is caught by pounding hooves. You turn to see enemy horsemen spurting straight towards us with a lance leveled at our chest. Choose to stand and fight him or run back towards a watchtower.
13 endurance left.
Yeah, that's a good point. I wasn't in combat this section, but I feel like this is a continued action sequence. So it doesn't feel like I've got time to rest, does it really? Do I have any? I don't have any Lampspur either because I had them, but remember I lost them.
Yeah.
My backpack's empty. Okay, so yeah, I think you're right. Run back to the watchtower because okay. He pursues me. A Summerlanding soldier stands in your way, his bowstring drawn back and ready. Dive, he screams at you. Then he fires his bow, takes the bandit out. Look, shoots it through his head. Hey.
Nice.
Mate,
Good
nice.
man.
Very Black Hawk Down. No problem, Gargoyle. Great to have you on board, mate. It's quite a niche stream what we're doing, but this is a choose your own adventure series of books from the 1980s called Lone Wolf. Please Google them. They've been re-released, and we are doing the updated versions. The charging horse crashes nose first into the ground, throwing its dead rider out of the saddle. I think we made the right choice there, you know. He tumbles close to a halt to your feet. Before you can say a word, the soldier turns about and hurries away to the barricade. So, do I follow the soldier back to the barricade or do I head towards the watchtower? Should we try and man the barricade, stop more of the bad guys getting in, or is all is lost and we have to sort of retreat to the inner sanctum? Basically, that's a good question. Good question. Back to the barricade.
I'm sort of tilting that way, yeah. Because I mean, if we retreat then and get surrounded, then we're fucked anyway. So
yeah, okay, all right. I'm going to go back to the barricade. We've got to pick a random number, so that's 1 to 10 again. So let's use the die. Here we go. It's a 4. Okay, 1 to 4 turn to 193. We're on page 193. Let's see what it says. Better not say your journey ends here. Oh, we're in another battle. Oh my god, this thing looks mean. The snarling warhound bounds towards. Oh, by the way, you went back to the barricade, and I forgot to read out the section. Captain Devour is still at the barricade, and he and his men are in the fight of their lives. A snarling warhound bounds towards the barricade, leaping over bodies of dead and dying. You back away. Another warhound claws towards you. Before you can free yourself, 2 more dogs are upon you. Lose 2 endurance points. Fuck. And now I've got to fight one. And they're really powerful. So, combat skill of 17. Combat skill of 17, endurance of 30. If you're still alive after 2 rounds, go to page 311. So I've got to survive 2 rounds of combat with this thing. It's got endurance of 30 and combat skill of 17. I've got combat skill of 28, but my endurance is low. This is a bit like that scene on Galaxy Quest, the Clueless. Offer food to dogs to gain a new friend. Look around you. Can you form some sort of rudimentary lathe? Yeah, I don't think that's going to work, mate. In the blood of battle. All right, so we're in a combat situation, guys. We need to roll higher. We want a 10. We want to kill this thing straight away. Let's roll. Fuck off! No way.
what is it? I can't actually see because the comment's in the way.
Oh, is the comment in the way? It's a 1.
Okay.
It's a 1. So that's not death, but it's bad because I'm on plus 11, which is good. So I've taken 3 damage. It's taken 9. Okay, so I basically need to survive another round of combat. Then I can turn to the next thing. But let me just write down my endurance guard. I'm yeah, not good. Okay, here we go. Let's roll high. Let's roll high. Let's roll high. Roll high. Roll high. 6. Okay, I'll take it. On 6, I have done 16 damage. So 25 in total. I only lose 1. I have survived, so I go to 311. So I've survived 2 rounds of combat. What happens? 3 summer-lending soldiers come to your aid. Thank God. Their swords slice repeatedly into the evil warhounds until the dogs die. Thankful to be alive, you stagger to your feet and try to assess the situation as the battle rages. Summer-lending soldiers still man the barricade, forming in groups that hold firm where the wall does not. Spears and arrows arch through the sky. Combatants fall from their horses. Horses scream and bolt, and the dead and wounded lie everywhere. Damn, it's like Braveheart all in one. Okay, so it's like that. You know when you cut to the shot of the battlefield in Braveheart and all the bodies are moving.
Yeah.
Warhounds have been driven back. To your right, a bandit warrior is trying to jump his horse across the barricade, but the animal is wounded and near death. He cannot complete the jump, and the rider is hurled forward over the wall. He falls to the ground close behind you. If you choose to attack the bandit warrior, turn to 90. If you decide to rally the soldiers to repel the advancing spearmen, turn to 3. Now, I am badly wounded at this point. I'm badly wounded. So I want to do everything I can to avoid combat. So
corral the troops.
I think so, yeah. Turn to 3. Oh, for God's sake. Climb the barricade and shout the order, draw bows. Fire, the shield of no defense against the... Okay, so basically, yeah, we loose arrows. Great gaps appear in the spearmen, fall in heaps in the field. Few of their number escape being injured. You sense a turn in the tide of the battle. The enemy are now pulling away from the barricades by the score, carrying their wounded with them on their backs and on upturned shields. You jump from the wall and race back towards the watchtower where Captain Duval is still embroiled in a bit of struggle against a bandit horseman. You're about to leap over the body of a dead bandit warrior when he suddenly comes to life and lashes out at you with a spiked mace, knocking you to the ground. Lose 2 endurance points. For fuck's sake. I'm really badly injured now. Turn to 62, and I think I'm going to have to fight him. And I could be 1 die roll away from death here. Let's see what it says. 62. Yep. Bandit springs to his feet and attacks you with his mace. Deduct 2 from your combat skill for the first 3 rounds of combat because you're lying on the ground. You cannot evade the combat. You've got to fight him to the death. Well, yeah. Okay, but I'm still rolling at a tremendous advantage, thankfully. What I need are a couple of good die rolls, and I'll be all right. Okay, so first one. 6. I'll take it. So that is 12 damage to him. I think it's 2 to me. 1 to me. Oh, hang on a minute. Yeah, so I'm not rolling on. It's not plus 11. It's plus 9. So I nearly killed him. I take. No, it's plus 11 or greater. But hang on. Am I deducting from the die roll or deduct 2 from your combat skill? Right. So actually, right. So it's moving me 1 chart down, and I rolled a 6. Right.
Yeah.
So he takes 14 damage. I take 1. Okay, that's good. I'm still alive, only just. Right, so I'm down to 5 points, by the way. 5 points. Yeah, okay, right. Second round of combat. 8. That's good.
Okay,
that's good.
Like it.
That's good. I think he might be out of it. He takes, on a roll of 8, he takes 18 damage. I take nothing. And his endurance was 24. He's dead. I killed him. 148. Right, I really need to avoid any more combat. I need to like patch up. To me, Captain DeVal's voice booms. But hang on, he's posher than that. To me, men. Rally round, gather up. Now listen here, chaps. The turn of tide is the battle's turning. I think if we all follow me on a charge and give them a jolly good thrashing, it's all going to go in our favour. Okay, Captain DeVal's voice booms out above the battle noise. Rally to me, Summerlending. Summerlending, what a name. The brave captain draws about him a shield wedge of soldiers, charges into the flanks of the horsemen. They reel and buckle. A Vasagonian herald, his crimson armour torn, his face flecked with blood, breaks free from the battle and sounds retreat. Can you give us the horn of retreat? There we go. That's the horn of retreat. Yeah, that's Captain Cavil retreating, by the way. You watch as the surviving bandits spur their mounts to the gallop, desperate now to escape through the ragged hole in the barricade. Gripped by panic and fatigue, they ride through their own soldiers who are advancing to support them. The infantry falter on this unexpected onslaught, and quickly their ranks collapse, and the cavalry ride them down. They killed their own men. Captain DeVal leads his soldiers to the barricade and directs a lethal volley of arrows into the shattered infantry. They flee in panic. Battle-proud Strident pursues them across the plain. For Summerland, for Summerland. Okay, so I think we've won the battle. And now my guy can actually start healing if it's a non-combat. Yeah, okay. So all around the barricade, the enemy are retreating in disorder. Bandit war horns announce the withdrawal. Thanks, Alex. That just added something. I don't know what, but good. A jubilant Captain DeVal emerges from the war smoke, his eyes shining like bright jewels beneath the rim of his battered helmet. We have triumphed, Lone Wolf. Jolly good show. We've vanquished the foe. All around you, the captain's guards are rebuilding the barricades, tending their wounded comrades. It sorrows you to see so many dead. But you take heart that they are beside the enemy's losses. The captain ushers you to the watchtower where your wounds are cleaned and dressed with lamp spur. Restore 6 endurance points. Thank fuck for that. And I'm also going to use my power of healing to take that up by 1. So that restores 7 in total. So I'm back up to 12. That's like, so I'm back up to 50% from my 24. We've beaten this foe, though I fear it is but a temporary reprieve, says the captain, his face now composed and somber. Sorry. The sacrifice of Baron Volunden's daughter must be stopped if we are to avoid catastrophe, for our strength will not avail us against any foe freshly risen from the grave. The words of verse flood into your mind, and a chill runs down your spine as you realize what may lie ahead. In 3 days' time, when the moon is full, Baraka will sacrifice the Baron's daughter. Hang on, I need to say this in a narrator's voice. In 3 days' time, when the moon is full, Baraka will sacrifice the Baron's daughter at the buried temple of Makan, a sacrifice that will unleash the dead of Macon Gorge. You know you must do everything possible to prevent the sacrifice from taking place. Turn to 12. Okay, how you doing for time, Alex? It's just 9 o'clock.
Yeah, I've got to shoot off shortly. So maybe if we look at a good point to finish part 1.
Well, this is a good point, I would suggest, because Melvin Deeply's here. Good to see you. Is thank fuck for that in the book, or did you just ad-lib that? I can't possibly comment. Added ambiance. This is a good place to pause. So this is what it says. 50 miles due south of Rouen, in the ruined city of Macon, teeters on the brink of the infamous Macon Gorge. Cold sweat breaks upon your brow as you contemplate the difficulty of your mission, for you are separated from your goal by miles of enemy-held territory. There is a small flicker of hope from which you draw some comfort. With the enemy in confusion and retreat, your chance of success will be far higher than they were before the battle. Before you set off on your perilous mission, Captain DeVal offers you the choice of the following provisions. So enough food for 3 meals. I'll take them, thank you, because I haven't got any at the minute. So I've got 3 meals in the backpack. And by the way, so we're finishing on number 12 before going to 140. He offers me a potion of lamp spur. Now this is another section without any combat, so my healing will take my endurance up to 13. I've got my rope back. That takes up 2 spaces in the backpack. Rope. A sword and a spear. Well, I've already got an axe and the summer sword, so I might take the spear instead of the axe. Let's take a spear. For some reason, I feel the spear will be more useful. So make the necessary adjustments, and then okay. So we're going to pause it there. So this is a part 1. Retreat to the winches. When will you be streaming the next part? I'm trying to get through these pretty quick now. So it'll either be next Sunday, around the same kind of time, because I've got a stream. I've got an interview on Tuesday. So we got Will Johnson coming on Tuesday.
Nice.
Yeah. So let's talk about that quickly before you go. So I have. If I can just get this up on my screen. Bear with me for 2 seconds, please. Yeah, we have Will Johnson from House of Dragon coming on the channel. For those 9 people watching, one of the actors from House of Dragon will be here in the studio with me. So this is he's going to be sitting here next to me. It's not an online interview. He's going to be with me. Will Johnson has been in the industry for many decades, and people may have seen him in House of the Dragon recently, where he came to a particularly interesting fate. And it's quite hilarious how I was actually texting him while I was watching, saying, "Oh, with this speech, you're definitely going to be in season 2." And literally seconds later, I regretted sending him that text. This was a nice stroll down memory lane. You're very welcome. The books have the new editions of the books have been refined, and any kind of errors have been rooted out. And I think they've added a couple of little bits here and there. So that's on Tuesday. On Wednesday, I'm doing top 5 Burt Reynolds movies with Burt Reynolds' biographer, Wayne Byrne, who has actually been on the he's been on the channel before. He came on and we did a top 5 Walter Hill movies, which was great fun. Wayne is a really, really lovely guy, very generous guy with his time. He also, even more generously, put me in touch with other contacts of his, and that was how I was able to get first assistant director David McGiffert on the channel. If you go to industry interviews, those of you that were watching, David McGiffert was the first AD on all 3 Back to the Future films. He also did all of Sidney Pollack's movies, bar one, I think. And he did an interview with us that lasted 3 hours. I think you were on that one, Alex, weren't you? You were on that interview with David McGiffert.
I was.
Yeah.
It was very special.
I just finished cataloguing it yesterday. I've been doing loads of admin on the channel the last couple of days. So I've gone through and I've time coded it all. So you can get to your favorite bit of the David McGiffert interview just by having a look. I'm just going to see if I can get my artwork up for. Yeah, let me get this thing here. Download that. Just take this off for a second. I need a producer for my show, Alex. So that's what people tell me is good to get on YouTube. You get that when you get like 1 million subs. You get people offering to be your producer. You know. Yeah, people always when you're successful, producers are always around, aren't they, Alex?
Right.
So there's Wayne. So we're going to be talking about the films of Reynolds in general. And by the way, Wayne's book is specifically about examining the movies that Burt did. It's not about the relationships of his life, the gossip, and the heartbreak and the financial ruin and all of that stuff. His subject when he does his biographies, it's all about the films and the creative side.
Yeah.
So
that's good. That's refreshing.
Yeah, a couple of people here did see the David McGiffert interview, but we don't forget, guys, we have got 33 interviews, industry interviews. We just did one with Ray Harryhausen's biographer. That was really fantastic because he's also one of the trustees of the Ray Harryhausen archive, and he has got access to all the materials. He also authorizes what do you call it, merchandise is allowed. So so he was that's John Walsh. He's a very interesting guest. So another thing I need to say is there are 111 watch hours to go on the channel until it's monetized. Now recently I got as close to like 80, but then people weren't watching anything. So because it's time dependent, that number increases because you've got to get a certain number of watch hours within a certain monthly period. So at the minute, I'm 111 hours until I'm monetized. So Alex, what I need you to do is just whack the journey on in the background all the time, or a stream, whichever, and help me get those watch hours up, guys. Those people watching, do go and have a look at the content of the channel. You'll probably find the industry interviews most interesting, but also check out the Chew the Fat streams. That tends to be where we kind of do top fives, that kind of thing. We did a top 5 sci-fi fantasy films pre-1990. Alex, do you know what the number 1 film was?
Pre-1990? Aliens?
Well, there were 3 of us. No, not sci-fi. It was top 5 fantasy.
Oh,
sorry, not sci-fi. So Krull was discussed, but it wasn't. I don't think it was in anybody's top 5. But Matthew picked a top 5. I picked a top 5, and Inside Man, Conan the Barbarian was in my top 5, and I think the chat were allowed to vote. By the way, chat, if you guys come and join the stream on Wednesday, you can also vote when we vote for your top 5 Burt Reynolds movies. And he did a lot of movies, so you'd think it's a small choice and it's an easy list to compile, but it's not. I always pick my films for their rewatchability. So Conan the Barbarian came in at number 2 overall between chat and us. Matt has not even seen Conan the Barbarian.
Is he not?
No, but it was on both mine and the Inside Man's top 5 list. I think on mine it was like number 4 or 5. I forget. Can you guess what number 1 was?
Give me a clue. Give me a clue. Wasn't the animated version of Lord of the Rings? Was it?
No, that was discussed, but wasn't on anybody's list. No, it was Jason and the Argonauts.
Ah, of course.
Yeah,
of course.
Such a great film. I may actually watch that again tonight because I'm in a fantasy mood because we've been doing Sword and Sandals all night, as it were. All right. Well, look, guys, thanks so much for watching. There was quite a big audience towards the end there. So whilst we were in the midst of that rather complex battle, really appreciate your comments and popping in. It's good to see a load of the regulars in. I seem to have a few regulars that come on whenever I do a stream. What time on Wednesday? It is, I think he's coming on 9 p.m. UK time. So that will be 4 p.m. East Coast. And I think it's midday for people in LA. And on Tuesday, House of Dragon is at the same time. Will Johnson from House of Dragon, 9 o'clock. So that'll be 4 p.m. East Coast. Don't forget, our streams normally last at least 90 minutes. I think the Burt Reynolds one will last longer. We probably paused at the right time because I'm starting to lose my voice here. But yeah,
it's all those impressions.
all those strange voices that I do for the stream take their toll on. I'm saving that one for the peculiar innkeeper in the next episode. All right, guys. So thanks so much for tuning in. Me and Alex are going to sign off now. Don't forget what I always say. If you have a friend of yours who you haven't spoken to for a while, pick up the phone and give them a ring. And in the meantime, I will see you again on Tuesday night, where we'll be talking to actor Will Johnson. Until then, take care.